problem. Well, I wanted to start off by saying congratulations. We are so excited about this tour coming up, and we are so excited that you guys are getting to celebrate your 40th anniversary with us. So congratulations.
Yeah, that congratulations for we survived that much, right? Right. Yeah, we happened twice because like this tour actually supposed to happen 2 years ago,
Yep.
and was postponed twice. So I'm more than happy that finally we can just step on Australian soil again after 10 years, and we definitely bring something special. Definitely bring something special. Which can be connected with the 40 years anniversary, because we definitely gonna bring you a mix of something which is a Vader classics from the first album, first years, and also something we recorded lately in the last albums.
40
should be pretty satisfactory for everybody.
Yeah. 40 years, that's such a milestone. Like, so many bands have come and gone over the years where they've just had, like, been around for a couple of years. What did that mean to you, reaching that 40-year milestone?
That means that I'm old. But seriously, and of course, like when we started to play 40 years ago, we had teenagers. We are totally different, like in every aspect, So nobody expected that we will survive 5 years as a band. Like we started to play more just for fun, just to fill that gap, missing gap, in the life in Poland back then was pretty gray, and and metal gave us some colors, to everything. So like we escaped from all this like political overwhelmed, atmosphere of Poland, in 80s. So but as I said, like nobody expected that it's gonna be more serious. But actually, it started to be after we recorded first and second demo tape in the late 80s. Then after we get signed with Eric for the first album, it took 10 years to record first album, which is not common today, of course. But that was more than we expected. Like back then in Poland, we're still like behind the Iron Curtain, and to record the album for Eric, having such many like iconic, extreme metal bands was more than we expected. So actually, the whole story started back then, 30 years ago, after we recorded the first album, the album Incantation. It's just also the album we're gonna remind on Australian tour next week.
Yep. How difficult was it in those days being in a band behind the Iron Curtain? How difficult was that for you to be able to get your music out there and around the world?
The beginning was hard because, like I mentioned, we are behind the Iron Curtain. There was actually no scene, no business, no nothing, back then. So actually, extreme metal music was something which was not even connected, with the business, with everything. We were like, we're one of those bands who invented this style in Poland. We call it underground because nobody did care about it. Like, no, it was something nobody understood it, but our fans, of course. So we are fans who try to also create something, not just listen to the music, also create some music. That's what we did. And even if we had like handmade guitars, like no proper equipment, no proper gear, so we tried to give the best, and fans, the new extreme metal fans in Poland, they respected that, and unfortunately, we are not the only band who started this music, but we're among those who survived the time. So many guys, they just gave up in the meantime, and we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't, and since we started to exist as a band, so we pretty much active for next 4 decades already, and that's a huge success. And the best part is that we still have a new generation of Vader fans, like young generations. That's more than we expected ever, back then. So it was hard. We had to. The average day was a challenge for us as teenagers, young metalheads, also as a member of the band. So I mentioned equipment, the scene, promotion, everything was nothing existing. So we actually were among those who started that in Poland.
You said that you thought that nobody back then would have thought that you were still doing this in 40 years' time. What about you? Did you feel that this was something that you'd still be doing in 40 years' time, or for you, was that just something fun at that time as well?
My life, I think, was as fast as a music we play, and I had not even time to think about like what's going on. It's like we still, I like to be busy. I like to be active, and I think this makes my life from one side very interesting, from the other side hard, from the other side fast. And that's how it is. I never complained. I'm not gonna complain. This is something I choose back then. The good reason is I had a proper partner in my life. My wife already and kids. So we are like real partners, and we supported each other's. And in the times we needed that, and that helped a lot. So this altogether makes my life connected with the music, with the metal music, and it was possible, to continue the journey since the beginning till today, and it's still to be continued. I hope, it's like the only thing I feel is that pain in my back, after all these travels and tourings, and this is something I can do nothing with, and this is a real pain, and this is something I always afraid of. The only thing I'm afraid of, the health. The rest I can deal with, and I can break. I can, fight. But the body is something you have to be careful with after that many years. You're wearing out after many years, and this is you can't do shit about. And I'm just trying to be careful, but still try to keep metal in a proper way. I'm not just give up and do not expect it.
Yeah. Some musicians said that having the pandemic off and not being touring during that time, their body seemed to recover a little bit, especially drummers who were saying that their neck and shoulder felt good for the first time in a long time because they weren't on the road. Did you notice that your body recovered a little bit while you were off the road during the pandemic?
First, Vader was not grounded totally. In 2020, we still played like 50 shows. In 2021, we played 80 shows.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad, compared to the bands who played 0 shows. And but as I said, like we are flexible bands. Like we want to play. If we want to play, we don't give up. We're not, cry babies that will not play because we will not play for the sitting people. The restrictions made a huge change for everything, but it was not doable, and I remember many shows in the pandemic restrictions. It was really funny compared to the real metal shows, but they did happen. And the other shows were just restricted on the posters, but the shows were just like it is. It was just crazy as any other shows. So, and we're not able to play in the smaller places, in the clubs. And some bands, they think they keep the level and they don't want to give under. And I don't think it's good, but it's not my choice. And I don't want to say the other bands what they should do, they decide about it. That's how it is in the world, right?
Yeah.
You decide about what you do, and we choose our way. And we were active, we're busy, we not get fat or we as I said, in a band and personal, I like to be active, and that keeps me in a good shape also. As healthy as a body, as a man. So that's a priority. If you're musicians who play heavy metal, you can't just be I don't know, like a dead man walking in like on a stage, you know.
Definitely.
And of course, I'm gonna do the music as far as I will be able to.
Yep.
And you know, from the other side, I'm the oldest guy in the band, but we had like the young blood in the band. Like we have new drummer who joined the band lately and has already experienced pretty much. But I think we should to play a little bit more live, and that will actually lead to the next Vader album. But I'm not gonna push myself until 2025 for that. You know?
Yeah. So, coming to Australia, do you have fond memories of your last tour here? Because I know a lot of us were so excited about that last time you came here. Do you have fond memories of your time in Australia?
Oh, pretty much. You know, we're supporting creators, so actually that was like an opportunity to show up for good people, you know, good among people, and to show the potential. From the other side, I had the time just to see more than just a venue, you know. So I think I visited all the zoo parks, like in every cities we're like playing at. So I like to walk, you know, around, you know, and the last, that was 10 years ago, but it was absolutely great trip, you know, and Australia and New Zealand, that was a great experience to me, and I really expect at least the same good like for the next one. All better.
Yeah. So you mentioned going to the zoos. I have to ask, are you an animal lover?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Always, since the beginning. That's why I choose biology, and I supposed to be a biology teacher back then, you know, until I choose the other way and I choose to be a metal player.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you've got something very special for your Australian fans, playing some of the older music and some of the newer music. What's that been like, going back over some of the older tracks to put together that set list? Does that bring back memories as well?
Yeah, sure, but actually we try to keep playing the classics like every time. Of course, it's really hard to choose the songs for the set list, but we play pretty often and pretty intense, so we are able and we like it to change set list quite often, and to bring new songs on the list from the past. You know, this time. We had so many songs from Revelations, because this album were never properly played, and there are so many songs we never played live, you know, in the whole Vader history, long history. So among those, we definitely gonna play something from Solid Madness, because this is the last album. Definitely something from the Ultimate Incantation and the Death Profundis, because these albums get anniversary not a long time ago. Also something from the other albums. Of course, it's not possible to play enough from the old album because we recorded too many of them, and we had around 90 minutes maximum for the show. It's 90 minutes, but trust me, it's pretty much enough for that intensity. So as I mentioned before, probably we're gonna and we will satisfy each Vader fan in a crowd, you know, those who like the classics and those who like the fresh last tunes. That should be good shows for everybody.
Yeah. Is there anything that you haven't done in your career so far that you would still like to do?
Many of things, I think, but I don't get my mind on a particular thing in the moment. Definitely, there's some places to discover as a metal band, you know, but there is still some things I'd like to do as a person, you know, something I'm a fan of, not just in the musical theater, also some hobby things, you know. It's, you know, life is interesting. If you got time to see something, to discover something, you should do it, you know.
Yep.
And you know, I'm busy, and that's the bad side of being a professional extreme metal player. That you're busy and you do not have that much time. I wish to see something more, you know. But as I said, I'm active, and I'm any gap in the time list and a gap in my annual plans. So I try to use and try to go somewhere to see shows or to see some museums. I was in the Bovington Tank Tiger Show the last week. Like I've never been there, and that's one of the checklists in my life. So it's checked now. So as I said, like this, I like life. I like to see and discover things, and definitely there's a lot of things to see.
Definitely. Well, Peter, we are running out of time very, very quickly. So to finish off, is there anything you'd like to say to your Australian fans out there before they go out and grab tickets for these amazing shows?
I can't wait. It's already 2 years, and it's way too long time. And I'm sorry that it was not our fault that you had to wait 2 years for Vader. But now we try to be more to come quicker for next time with the next set. So we're ready for Australia, and I'm pretty much sure that Australia is ready for Vader, and we start next week, and I can't wait for that.